Hello and welcome to episode 77 of Third and Wrong. I'm your co-host, Stephen Bolin, and we are super fired up to be joined back with Connor McGough. Connor, first of all, how are things, man? Obviously with the CFL shutting down and canceling their season, just wanted to check in with you and see how things are going. So what have you been up to since and what's new?
Everything's going good. Haven't been doing too much, should be playing football and everything, but can't control that. So back in Madison Hat and just, getting ready for the school year to start up to finish my undergrad. And, so far everything's going good and just taking it as it is.
Hey, that's awesome, man. It's good to hear. And, as we saw this whole saga unfold with the CFL, it seemed like on social media, the perception was that there was a lack of communication from the CFL. Can you kind of take us through what the players' mindset was going through there? And you don't have to necessarily speak on the CFL's part, but just kind of what the players are thinking and what that felt like kind of going through the summer and that feeling of uneasiness.
I can't speak on behalf of all the players or the CFLPA and stuff. I wasn't part of the negotiation or communication part of that with like the CFL itself. But just from what I see it on social media and stuff like that and speaking to other players, it does seem like communication wasn't the best. And, anyone could have seen that, especially with the first proposed offer to the government when Commissioner Ambrosi went to the Board of Governors for the 150 and stuff. And then he was asked about the players and have they been involved and stuff like that. You could tell there was a lot of communication there, which is very disappointing. We preach on being equal amongst everyone. We're all equal here and equal partners, and just shows the true colors of I feel like the CFL behind doors at times. The players aren't always informed on decision making, and to me it's very disappointing. I truly believe that we could have had answers a lot earlier on whether or not CFL season would happen or not. And I truly believe that if we did communicate more appropriately, that we could have had a season or been closer to having a season. I think it's kind of tough to see that we asked for 150 and then all of a sudden it goes down to 40 million and then to 30 million. That's a huge difference in numbers. Whether or not 150 was the exact number, I know it did say up to 150, but from what I know and what you see in the media, it just seems like it's a huge difference from one proposal to the next. So it's unfortunate that we didn't have better communication through the whole process, and players weren't getting paid. I just feel bad for those who, have girlfriend, wife, and kids and stuff they gotta look after, right? So hopefully moving forward, this is just something, that's obviously everyone saw the lack of communication. And moving forward, we can come to some sort of agreement or understanding of mutual respect where we are on the same page and not, CFL above the players, and come to a point where we're all equal and we can move forward, especially with CBA agreements and stuff like that. And so unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, building off that too, like last time we had you on here, you had an optimism on that season actually happening, something happening and moving forward. Can you explain kind of to your friends in the league, other players, was that optimism shared by most of the players, or was it kind of like an undernote where everyone was kind of with that lack of communication, it kind of felt like it's probably not going to be there, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, there's always going to be individuals who are always going to say, no, it's not going to happen and stuff. You just get that everywhere, right? But overall, from the guys who I spoke to and with, at the beginning of it, everyone was pretty optimistic, especially when looking at other leagues across the world going forward and saying they're going to play and stuff. And at having a lot less cases in the U.S. and different countries, that everyone was pretty optimistic with it. And I was super optimistic, right? So then everything kind of went downhill a little bit and people were a bit more skeptical. But for the most part, everyone was pretty anxious to get back on the field and for sure thought about it. But as time went on and longer the process went, and money got tighter, more people were just kind of okay, at what point do we stop prolonging the dialogue of, there's going to be a season, and just get realistic with it and let players know ahead of time. But it didn't seem like that was their MO, and things just kind of got delayed too long, and players got discouraged quickly. But for a long time, people were very optimistic and stuff. And unfortunately, with the lack of communication, individuals were deterred pretty quickly. It kind of honestly felt like the CFL was trying to make it so it was the players that decide not to play, rather than, because like if you're not going to speak to them and players are going to get upset, they're going to be obviously like, oh, okay, like we're not going to have a season. But nonetheless, like nothing we can control. But yeah, to answer your question, everyone was optimistic about it for a long time, and then unfortunately, through lack of communication, more people became a bit more leery of there being a season, and people just kind of had to move on and get jobs just to help support family.
Real quick, can I just jump in? How open were the players, Connor, to the bubble concept? I mean, was that something you guys would have embraced, or was it something like, hey, we'll do it if we have to, but we just want to play?
There was a mix of both. I think the biggest question is, if once we get in a bubble, how is this, how the living arrangements going to be? CFL doesn't have the biggest budget. So when you see like the NBA and stuff, like, and then NHL, like, well, it looks pretty cool. So a good time, like, good food, like just like outdoor areas and stuff. But being in Winnipeg and like the situation there, like, it's just a lot of players were leery on how the living arrangements would be, how much freedom you'd have to at least go outside, just have some kind of space, the food. It's a lot that goes into having 9 teams in one area, of proper treatment, facilities for working out, and different things like that. So that was a big question that a lot of players had, and a lot of people have family too. So, and then like how much money you're gonna get paid. So is it worth players to come up from the U.S. or wherever you're from for that set income with that kind of living arrangement? So that was a big thing that people were kind of questioning for sure. But it was a mix of both. Everyone's in different situations, but that was a huge question that not many knew the answer to.
That's fair.
Yeah, I can't imagine what you and the other players have gone through, Connor, with having that kind of uncertainty with your job and for literally your livelihood being on the line and not being communicated. I just wanted to speak to that really quickly. Like, it seemed quite chaotic just from social media, as we mentioned, that it like they set the deadlines to have whether there was going to be a season, and then he just kind of, it was like a soft deadline, and then they just move forward. So I can see a lot of frustration there. But with you having the like now having an extended off season, what's your preparation looking like? Are you kind of turning the page and going to stay ready for the 2021 season like right away, or do you like, what do you have in the works, I guess, right now as we move forward into the 2021 season?
For myself, it's kind of just rest.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of opportunities to get rest. So for me right now, it's just kind of just relaxing a bit, just working on small things that can, help me prolong my career as long as I can. Typically, season's pretty demanding, and then you have a month or two off season of complete rest, and then off season is pretty tough. And since off season was extended until really, what was it, like end of July there, roughly, or August, it like it was a long off season. Your bodies are pretty beaten up too. So for myself, I'm just taking this opportunity just to relax a little bit, get proper recovery. It's tough because you just want to keep moving and being proactive and things, but there's a lot of areas where you can just get better in by resting, doing yoga, stretching, catch up on sleep, and just some family time too. I haven't been back from Medicine Hat for a while, so to go to spend more time with family is pretty awesome. You don't get a lot of time like that anymore, right? So I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to finish my undergrad, and coming up here, school starts and university starts next week. So get my undergrad done, and then I have aspirations to become a real estate agent as well. So I'm going to start that in the winter. And so really, like, looking on the bright side, I'm able to catch up a year of all my schooling, get the schooling done, and then when I get back to football, I have no more school. I have my real estate license, and I can start networking in that, avenue of my life. And, all in all, it's kind of a good situation for myself. It's very unfortunate we can't play football because, older we get, the less years of football we have, right? You just can't play forever. So that's the only down part to it all. But at the end of the day, keep staying healthy and hopefully have a longer career because of this and go in it, a year ahead with especially my real estate.
That's awesome, man. You become a much more well-rounded, individual just by pursuing those things. So definitely tip the cap to you. This might be a stupid question, but do you guys have access to team facilities throughout this delay, or is it kind of almost like a lockout or strike sort of thing where like you can't even get into the facility if you wanted to? And it might be a moot point because you're back in Medicine Hat now, but if you were to come back into Calgary, could you get into your weightlifting facility in McMahon or anything like that?
Yeah, currently the stadiums are open. There's obviously some protocols, to COVID protocols you have to follow in order to make sure everyone's safe and healthy. For a while there, though, all the stadiums were shut down until we've had things figured out. And then slowly through different procedures, they opened up slowly. But right now, yes, stadiums across Canada are open to players. Different stadiums have different, they have different limits to how many people can be in a workout groups at different sessions and stuff. But for the most part, everything's open right now.
Perfect. By the way, you were talking about being a real estate agent. I'm going to be in the market here in a little bit to buy a house, so I'll come to you. All right. I love it. I love it. Anyways, now for your professional side of stuff, you were talking about like finishing your undergrad degree and get your real estate license, go work towards that, keep working out, getting those things going. What about the other side of Connor McGough? What about your hobbies and stuff? What kind of stuff that you don't usually have time to do that you're kind of thinking about doing, or have you thought about that yet?
I don't really have a whole lot of hobbies because my whole life was just really revolved around football. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not playing football, you're training for football. And my mindset is if I'm not training for football or playing football, I just want to relax. So I don't really have a lot of hobbies, but this year I started picking up golf. That's been really fun. I've been going a lot lately and just trying to get better at that. I just want to like be able to compete at something. So like the downtime, I've been thinking of a lot of things I want to do, like just running outside to me is fun now. I'm going to do like join a local track team so I can compete somehow and get better at something. Nice. Even like I saw you were doing a flag football here in Hat.
Yeah, man, you're on my team if you're coming out. You're on my team.
There's got to be some kind of draft for that, Zach. You can't just sign free agents.
No,
like that.
I run the league, man. I'm getting Connor on my team, bro.
Oh, man.
That's what's happening.
Like, I want to play some football too, some like basketball, anything. I've been just trying to, but mostly I've been doing a lot of golf. Going golfing. Awesome. I'm pretty excited for that. It's a game day.
Yeah. That being said, we should all get out and go golfing together. That'd be great.
That'd be fun.
I was just about to say that we should.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that'd be a treat, but for you guys.
But it's a good time.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely. I've been hitting the links a little bit more this year too, so maybe I can carry the amateur agency and maybe try to help out a little bit. My handicap's still probably like 45, but whatever. So kind of shifting gears back to the CFL side of things, Connor, I'd like to get your thoughts if you've had a chance to think about this. Like, I know we might have touched on it a little bit the last time we had you, but just kind of curious, what could the CFL do to market themselves to a younger generation of fans coming through the pipeline, I guess, because that's one thing that we all know is kind of like an older fan base that are attending games and whatnot. So have you thought about that at all? And if you have, I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Me personally, I think a big one that stands out to me is just getting more relevant bands in the stadiums. There's a lot of bands that I have no idea who they are, and a lot of people don't, but like a lot of the older generation does. And like it's good that we have live entertainment. I know Edmonton does a great job. They have Ludacris and some other performers there, which is pretty cool to have and like pretty special. And at the end of the day, it's about just getting the younger people out too, right? Mm-hmm. And like it should be just like hockey, you know, oh, let's go to the game, then go out after. Same, you know, mentality to be with sporting and create a fan base like that, and becomes more of a regular thing from a lot of people. And I think what would be awesome to do, like, you know how the NFL does, I think it's called Play 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be great to do in the community too. I feel like the CFL doesn't, like, players do a lot of things and teams do a lot of things, and like the CFL brand does as well. But I feel like a lot of times it's in regards to like a lot of like charity things, or like you know, tackle hunger and different things like that. But there's not a lot of like community things in regards to football itself, like camps and stuff, like CFL. Like you get different stars from each team that do a camp somewhere in different like communities and stuff like that. And I think that'd be really cool. I think that will help encourage athletes to want to become a CFL player and stuff like that. And I think another awesome thing would be more attention into youth sports, so university football. I said last time, you know, how there used to be the Vanier Cup was paired up with the Grey Cup, and then if you got a Grey Cup ticket, it's a free ticket to the Vanier Cup game. And I thought that was awesome. That's an awesome way of integrating people to university sport, and you can follow some of the top Canadians who are going to go into the CFL or NFL draft, right? And then when they get into the CFL or NFL, it's just great to have that following and standing. And so when they get to watch those games live in the CFL or NFL, like, you just know who they are. It's just better in the community. And then you have kids, younger kids could be looking up to them more because their parents are, oh, this guy, like, we watched him in the Vanier Cup, now he's playing the Grey Cup. It just holds a lot of merit and stuff. And I think that's a great way of getting younger fan base. And like, I think it's great what the CFL is doing with the whole 2.0 global initiative, you know, trying to reach around the whole world. I think that's awesome. I would be awesome to see a bit more attention spent on the Canadian talent as well. And just investing in the youth and the university, you know, like leading up to the draft, you're just having a bunch of specials that come out that, you know, are shown during games the year before. Like, these are players that are be going in, highlights of university highlights, you know, stuff like that. Like, there's numerous things you could do that can help bring attention to university sports. And I think the Vanier one is a huge one, as well as like the, you know, the CFL version of Play 60. I think that would help out a lot. And because even like they come to Canada and do that a lot of times, you know.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that in Canada? That's, you know,
Honestly,
our game played in Canada, so
Yeah.
Ontario and stuff. So we could easily do that as well too here. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of small things like that would help out a lot, and in the end, it brings more fans to the games and more money to the system. So I think that'd be a great way of doing it.
that's fantastic. Thank you for expanding on that.
You hit the nail on the head, Connor. Like, even between Calgary and Manitoba there, they had that classic game back in November for the winner would advance to the Vanier Cup. And I think Manitoba went for 2 and they didn't get it to try to win the game when they could have just kicked 1 to tie. I think it was on ESPN's like top 60 college games of the year or something like that. Like, it actually made, you know, against NCAA games. And I just think like that should be a bigger story in Canada, but it's not getting pushed. So I think, you know, with the CFL's help, I think those kinds of games and classic moments can be promoted.
Yeah, I remember it was 2017, Dinos UBC in the Hardy Cup game. Nico DeFonte hits a 53-yard field goal with, like, I think there was no time on the clock, last play of the game, and he 56-yard, I think it was, and he moved it to go on to the, I think it was a Mitchell Bowl.
Or is it the Hardy Cup? I'm not sure.
It was during the Hardy.
Oh, okay.
To go on to like the Mitchell Bowl or something like that, whatever it was, right? But yeah, like, it was on, you know, it was on everywhere and stuff, but there could, you know, there's ways to improve by using those lines too, right? There's ways to improve that and stuff. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully they'll start doing that, because there's a lot of great athletes that, you know, give them a little bit of exposure and stuff and development. And the tough thing is, like, going from like youth sports to CFL, it's a big difference. Where you get like a Canadian or anyone from the U.S. college game to CFL, there's not as big of a difference. You know, it's a bit more speed, but like the athletes and everything is just a bit more up to date,
right?
Up to speed with that. So you just got to invest a lot of times, you know. Like, and I feel like it's easier just to kind of put them in different categories rather than spend that time. But there's a lot of improvement that CFL, I feel like, can do to help shed light on the youth sports and stuff.
Absolutely. You mentioned the NFL. With no CFL, we'll be tuning into quite a few games. Do you have a favorite team? Is that something you're going to be tuning into, or is it something you're just more or less indifferent to?
I don't have a favorite team. I just prefer to watch players. I just like watching certain, like a lot of DNs, just different DNs around the league and stuff like
Nice.
that. To be honest, I don't watch football a whole lot besides like my own film study and stuff like that.
Nice.
This year for sure, I'll be watching a lot more football and stuff because miss it a lot. It's just like haven't played football. First time I'm playing football in 12 years, so it's just weird. So I'll be watching a lot more this year.
Definitely fair. Well, if you need a bandwagon to hop on at any point, I recommend the Seattle Seahawks. Regardless of what these guys have to say, just a good team, man. So.
Steve, I'm surprised you didn't go with the King-led Washington football team.
Yeah.
I was like, careful what you say.
Made that mistake a couple times on this podcast, so learned my lesson.
I actually, I really like where this jumps into one of our last questions here. There's been a number of CFL players opt out of the contracts to pursue NFL opportunities. Did you ever consider doing something like this to go see?
I'm not at that point in my career.
Right.
Yet. In order to do that, I feel like you need some significant time playing on like your position. Like I play all styles and stuff, but in Hamilton, they didn't have me or didn't want me. I don't know what it may be on the defensive line. So to me, that wasn't an option at all. It's good to see a lot of guys doing that. I feel like if you have been playing a lot of offense, defense, and stuff like that, your position, like why not? Right? Like it's just I don't take me for word on this, but I'm pretty sure contracts are gonna have to be renegotiated anyways coming up here, just because taking a hit from all this. So like, I feel like why not? Just test your water, see what's going on, because the teams have your rights, and then you come back and you just get a new contract, and there you go. But like, what do you got to lose, right? You've been training all off season. That's what Dakota Shepley did. He's a guard from Saskatchewan. He's a Canadian guy.
Yeah.
He's a disservice to myself if I don't, at least try. And like he got on with 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers.
Yeah, so like, why not? Like, it doesn't hurt, and then like anything, like this helps you in the long run. It gives you opportunities and stuff, and it'd be awesome if I was in that position to opt a contract and try my luck down south, but not in that position. Hopefully one day I am, but no, it's awesome to see a lot of guys taking that option to see what's going on.
Right. Yeah.
Once you break out next year in the 2021 season, the following off season, you'll be able to have that opportunity. I'm sure we'll be talking to an NFLer.
I'm super excited for my opportunity.
Don't forget us, man, when you make the jump, because
Exactly. Yeah.
you got to come back on.
You guys are all coming with.
Yeah, we'll ride your coattails.
We'll take all the credit, but it's a part of the job. So
Awesome. So Connor, I got some. We had some quick hits for you last time we had you on. So I've got some more quick hits for you. Just stay on your toes because these are coming hot and heavy. So first question: what fast food restaurant has the best burger?
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. Okay, fair enough.
is that just because of the proximity to Crescent Heights High School, man? Because I mean, McCoy, we went there too.
I don't know what it is. It's consistent, and a lot of times you get double cheeseburgers for $4.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
No, they're my favorite.
That's fair.
that was a good burger.
I'm more of an A&W guy myself, but I did work at Dairy Queen, and those cheeseburgers, they're, like you said, consistency is the word to use there. I like that.
Really good too, but like sometimes all the flavoring, all the stuff they put on it, like, it's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
So when you go to get Dairy Queen, you just know what you're getting. It's the same thing every time. You're not, because there's only 2 things on it, so it's perfect.
Exactly.
Love
Heck
it.
yeah, love it. There we go. All right, next one: cricket or croquet? Cricket. All right. I'm not even gonna ask why because I threw it in. Yeah. Just an obscure sport for whichever. All right. So this one's going to be a toughie. Could you down 50 chicken nuggets in one sitting? Steve has to do this on Monday, so we're just trying to see if you could do it.
I probably could. I would think
You probably could.
It's not like too daunting of a number. It's nothing too.
Yeah, I made a poor bet. I said the Jazz couldn't, or I said the Nuggets couldn't come back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Jazz in the NBA playoffs. And I said if they did, I'll eat 50 chicken nuggets. And sure enough, they came back and won the series, much to my dismay. So at first, okay, well, maybe it doesn't seem too bad, but I guess I encouraged a couple friends back in Maple Creek to try it out. And my one friend could only get to 44 before he tapped out. So I'm a little nervous, but I mean, if
it's deceiving, because even like late night McDonald's run and a couple cheeseburgers, and I just grab like some McNuggets, chicken nuggets too, and like it's quite a bit. I think it's got to be like eat quick.
yeah, one sitting. Yeah.
Don't let your stomach don't let your stomach catch up. Just
Don't
keep
let it
going.
process what's going on. Like before it even knows what's going on, there's 50 in there and the rest is its job to do.
Watch a lot of what's that famous hot dog eater in the States? I forget his name right now, but you just got to watch a lot of his videos.
That's insane. That doesn't even look.
Yeah. Steve's taking up competitive eating after he finishes the 50 chicken nuggets. That's gonna be a new part on our blog site.
I'll need to train like you, Connor, just to look normal, not even like get like an athlete shape, but if I plan to eat all that food.
Just to stay where you're at.
Yeah, just to stay where I'm at, I'll have to train like a professional athlete.
Awesome. Okay. 2 more questions for you, Connor. Next one. Are turtlenecks cool?
Time and place.
Time and place.
Oh,
all right.
yeah. That's a smart.
I think I might
That's a good
venture out
question.
and try a
Good
turtleneck
answer.
this year.
Mm-hmm.
Non too committal. That was good. And last one. Are you buying the pumpkin spice hype?
No.
No.
I've had it. It's good. Tastes good, but like it's just too much money. Like
That's true.
coffee 280, 286, whatever, and then you're paying 5 something for all that. Like I don't understand what the. No.
Yeah, that's fair. Connor, that's all we got for today. Thank you again for coming on, my friend. Obviously, people can look at our first interview too, but where can everyone find you on social media just so they can kind of keep tabs on you?
Oh, I should know this. I don't know all my handles.
Hold on.
Like I know this. Just search up my name, Connor McGough, and everything. It should pop up for Twitter and Instagram. Instagram, I know for sure it's Connor _ McGough, and then for Twitter, just search up my name. It'll pop up.
C_McGough 35.
There you go.
Unless
There you
that's
go.
a different Connor McGough. Oh no, that's you.
We're officially the social media team for Connor McGough. I love it.
There you go.
Connor, thanks for coming on, my friend. Real quick, Ozzy, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at AustinPaul_. Austin with a Y. Oh shit, I screw that up every time. Not an I.
Not enough.
Zach, where can everyone find you at?
Well, they can find me living the dream on Twitter at Zach Foth and on Instagram at Zach Foth _.
Awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at SteveBolin22 and on Instagram at SteveBolin _ and be sure to check out all our agency accounts. Connor, thanks again, my friend. Best of luck through your extended off season. We'll have you back on, check in and see how things are going. And as we gear up for the 2021 season.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Godspeed, everybody.